So, folks, the good news in this series is we're not going to see any matchup get, well, okay, that's not 100% guaranteed, never mind, but we're not going to get PvC repeated here. Of course, the good thing that ITaX does is they make sure that there's as even a distribution of players as possible. So we got the PvZ, now it's going to be PvT, and it's not going to be PvZ in the finals. Well, I mean, you can do the math. It's either PvP or PvT coming on out, depending on who wins this series. And I think the good news is we got a different matchup. So that means we got to talk about the matchup just a little bit differently. And also, I mean, Hero, we talked about how Hero is a stylistic player. Wait, Neutro, when your computer hits blue screen of death, you get a sound? Mine just doesn't make anything. It just kind of dies. Yeah, it's not DRG throwing so much as just DRG just always looking for different ways to play the game, and not all that successful. But this is interesting. Not this, but the fact that there is a probe here behind the gold base on Byun's side of the map, and we're gonna see a proxy. I don't think this is Stargate. Generally, you would want a proxy that's Stargate to be immediately after the Cybercore finishes, right? So you just make that extremely quick timing. That's not what we're going to see in this game, and honestly, you don't really gain a lot by proxying a Stargate anyways, in this game in particular, but so it's going to be a gateway coming on down, which looks to me like we're just going to have a 3-gate coming in from Zoun here in this game number 1, and just putting a lot of pressure on Byun to start. And you can absolutely do that on this map. The natural to natural rush distance is, I think, like 35 seconds up. Anyway, it's very short. So Zoun, he's going to have this gateway. He's going to have 3 gateways. He's just going to be able to warp in a lot of stuff here, really close to the main base of Byun, and just looks to get a lot of pressure on down. So now it's Adept and Stalker right now, but it's going to be some other stuff. It's going to be probably 3 Stalkers at a time very, very soon, as that 3rd gate is just about done. And now we have, there we go, Twilight Council coming on down here. And so most likely this is just going to be a blink follow-up. But the question is, how much damage can Zoun get done before the... well, before his blink timing. Hey, got a Maturino. Fantastic. Now, Byun seems to be aware of this just a little bit. So bunker is going down, but this is a late bunker indeed. It's not going to really complete. Not for a while. So 2 workers will go down immediately. Byun's just going to cancel all that. He's going to have to retreat into the high ground. And, well, how many more warpins actually does Zoun look to use here? Because, honestly, he's gotten what he wants. And maybe he can just go and look to... oh, probe surround is not going to... yeah, there we go. The Hellion is not going to get much of anything here. Nice job there from Zoun, just making sure that he does not take any damage. So now with the more Stalkers warping in, actually, this is starting to be a big problem because, well, the command center is going to start to burn here. And that means that there is a timer on this. Wait, he's not going to get it. Okay, SCVs are going to get pulled on the high ground. I was going to say, he's not going to get that. No way. Okay, now there we go. Nice split there from Zoun. Yeah, he will lose 1 Stalker, but that Stalker was just about dead anyways. And yeah, he's losing a little bit more. If we look at this, 2 Stalkers have... only 2 Stalkers? I thought it was more than that. But 2 Stalkers have gone down. At this point, though, Blink is just about halfway done. Stalkers trying to find their way on the high ground. And you know what? They will get the medevac, and this is starting to become a real big problem here. There is no Widow Mine. The Marines are going to start to go on down, but now there's a tank. Now there's going to be a Banshee out in the field. These Stalkers, they have overcommitted just a little bit. And Zoun, he will be rebuffed. The natural will get taken. However, again, tremendous damage done by Zoun in this game. Yeah, he's lost, well, only what? 2 Stalkers worth less than his opponent, but killing that many workers and just denying the mining in the natural for so gosh darn long. That's oh, he's gonna burn. He's gonna make it burn again. The which just again that requires more repairs. That's just it's not as expensive as say you know what losing the base, but still value lost here. Now the Banshee's gonna try to dive on in the main base, and this is just gonna be an immediate recall. Cloak is going to finish though, and folks, actually this is in okay. No, we do have a robo. So observers are going to get chronoed on out. The Banshee's going to try to do some equalizing damage at the very least, but a good probe pull should be able to minimize that, as the observer is going to find its way on it. And Blink is now done, so the Stalker should be able to chase this one on down. There we go, and there we go. Okay, Banshee is dead. 5 workers in the exchange, and Byun's going to equalize things a lot here. He's only down 4 workers now. Yeah, hi, Lynn. Zoun is how it's actually supposed to be pronounced. Of course, the name is based on a General Zhao Yun, from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is of course a period of history, would be a popular series of novels in China and in Korea. Yes, his name is Juan. Not to be confused with Juanito. Now, okay, Stalker's going to blink on in here. And I mean, again, we talked about this at the start of the match. And this is a wide open main base. It's good for drops, but it's also very good for blink Stalkers, as Zoun is showing us to tremendous effect now. So Raven's going to drop the auto turret, but, you know, just Stalker's going to run out of range here. And the tanks are going to try to find their way on the high ground. But again, massive value from the Alpha X Protoss player. The Observer's going to go down, which is going to deny the next potential blink in. But hey, a couple more workers will go. Okay, no target fire. Never mind. The nice thing here, the nicest thing that Zoun is doing more than anything else, he is knocking down the tanks that Byun has been making to some extent, which means that any sort of push that Byun makes to look happen in a minute's time, well, it's not going to be quite as impactful, but realistically, Byun is not looking to do any sort of push in the next 3 minutes. Because right now there is blink, there is no stim. This has got to be a mistake, right? Are there any tech labs on these barracks? Okay, there's one. 1-1 is getting started before stim and combat shields. That is, that's novel. I guess that's what Byun feels he's got to do. He's like, look, I'm just going to turtle this up. I'm going to get my barracks. Eventually, I'm just going to get a lot of tanks, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get some counter damage done with these Banshees. That Banshee, there we go. Okay, we'll get the cloak on out. But I mean, with what is happening here, right? 1-1's underway, but again, no stim. Yeah, this is really weird to me. There we go. Combat shield stim now getting started at 8:35. This is gonna be like a 10-minute stim, folks. This is this is not gonna be easy here for Byun. I mean, this gives Zoun so much room to just own the map because he knows that Byun can do nothing. There's no pressure that Byun can put on the map right now, as Byun is going up to 5 racks without 2 base. So it's gonna be a 1-1 timing with stim and combat shields here at like the 9 minutes and 45-second mark. But I mean, by then Storm is gonna be done. +1 has already been finished. And, I mean, it's just got to be a big push here from Byun. It's got to be worthwhile, and I'm not convinced he's going to be able to build up a big enough army in time. Okay, there we go. The Banshee's now dead too. And there, yeah, 0 map control for Byun at this point. He's not completely dead yet, and he's going to have a powerful push. Okay, the bunker is getting salvaged now, so that does mean that we should see... Yeah, there we go. The army's going to start to push out here for Byun as the combat shields does complete, as 1-1 does look to finish. And I mean, it is a lot of tanks. And this is very interesting. So he's actually just moving out to take his 3rd. So I read this as a big 1-1 push because, right, he's taking his 3rd at 10 minutes. But I guess Byun's just looking to take this game extremely slowly, like TY versus Parting on Death Aura level slowly. Where he says, look, I'm behind, whatever. I'm just going to A, let you attack into me if that's what you want. Or B, I'm just going to slowly develop my economy, and I think it's too hard for you to attack into me on Blackburn. So it doesn't really matter when I get my base, because eventually I'm going to be where I want to be. And I don't know if I buy that. But, I mean, I guess it's a possibility. It's all really going to be down to the storms here. Oh, those storms are going to be fantastic. Raven's going to go on down as well, which means no disrupt. Well, there's already a disruption on the Warp Prism, but no more disruptions on the Warp Prism. Is now Zoun. He's opening up avenues, different attack paths to make this happen. And I mean, yeah, there are a lot of tanks. There are a lot of Widow Mines here with this army, but that's why Zoun is just going to attack from 2 different angles, looking to run on in. We're going to see some starter storms get dropped here. How are they going to do? They're going to be massive here as Zoun looking to go on in, break down his opponent. 2 tanks, 3 tanks do remain, and these Widow Mines, actually, they did a great job, but now more and more Zealots getting warped on in. The tanks are starting to fall, the Widow Mines are starting to fall, and folks, it takes more than 1 round of splash to knock down this Protoss army here. The +2 attack is doing gosh darn good work here. The Widow Mines are going down. GG. Zoun takes game number 1. By the way, if anyone speaks Korean, can tell me what that pause was about, I would appreciate it. Anyway. Yeah, so really, if a Protoss player knows that it's going to be the stem timing, which it tends to be pretty obvious, you can just see the amount of Marines that are active on the map. They tend to not get all that quick of a third base. So we're going to have this Adept running on over, but Zoun actually... Okay, never mind. I saw the probe moving out and towards it looked like third base location, and I'm like, oh, he's going to get a 330 third base. That's going to be really, really quick. Okay, this Adept's going to run on in, and you know what? Byun has been doing a great job of hiding this. All that Zoun knows right now is there's still a reactor on the barracks, which is honestly not all that weird. That is kind of your standard opener at this point. He has not seen the amount of bio that Byun does have, and that does now mean that Zoun... Okay, so he's still not taking his third. This is good. How many gateways do we have, actually? Interesting. Oh, this is very odd. Our non-traditional, right? So there are only 2 gateways on the map right now, but it is a warp prism. So Zoun is going to make it 2-gate pressure, which generally, you know, if you're getting a warp prism, it's going to be 3. Or if you're going to commit to Blink Stalkers and warping them in on the map, it's going to be 3 or 4 gates. So again, surprised that we see 2-gate pressure here coming on in from Zoun. And the lack of a wall of the naturals actually. Oh, the Stalkers are. Oh, this is not good here for Zoun whatsoever. The bio here from Byun is going to find itself wholly undefended. Okay, so now this is important here. Zoun is going to see this bio, and he's going to have to return home immediately. Notice that initial blink. You can see it on the mini-map. Stalkers or Sentries getting morphed on in. This is so important. There we go. Recall is coming on in. We're going to have to see good force field. Stalkers are here. Sentries are going to get target fired on. They're not even going to get target fired on down. The pylon is getting knocked on down here, which means the shield battery is not going to be able to do all that much. The Warp Prism, it's getting target fired, but it will stay alive. And actually, that now means that this blink micro here from Zoun is going to be dynamite. It's going to be fantastic. All that died is a couple sentries and a pylon. What a flippin' hold here from Zoun. What a hold. That was fantastic. Well done. Because that was not scouted until the last second. Yeah, well done there from Zoun indeed. And now, well, he's in a great spot. His third base can go down. He knows he's not really under any threats of pressure for the time being. He can get aggressive if that's what he wants. He's going to drop 2 additional gateways and a Robo Bay. Yeah, Ketter, it's not only the poor man's blink, he had the rich man's blink too, so he just had double blink. And it was just doing such a good job of microing all over the place. Very, very impressive. So now we're going to see the quad stalker hit squad in the War Prism, of course. 4 stalkers, they kill SCVs, you know that. But yeah, the Mayo here is going to be able to ward that one off. But again, this is just keeping Byun home. It's not... I mean, if you get a couple SCVs, that's nice. Zoun is already in a fantastic position. All right, he held that off rather easily. What has he lost? He lost 2 stalkers, 2 sentries, and that was just about it. Pylon as well, I guess. That means that, honestly, he's totally fine. So now these stalkers here, they're going to be active on the map. They're going to look to deny any sort of... Folks, we need a nerve observer speed. It's so frustrating when they just barely get away. But now we do have Byun. He's looking to stem across the map here. He's going to run into 1 Colossus, though. And a couple sentries. Blink Stalkers, all that fun stuff. Although that being said, there is, if there's a forge, which actually I'm not, is there a forge? Okay, no forge on the map. Certainly there is not going to be any upgrades. So he will have that upgrade advantage for the time being. Now he's going to try to drop into the main base here. The Bio's going to stim on in. 8 workers will go down. Yeah, this is starting to be the damage that Byun is looking for, so long as he doesn't lose his medevacs. And yeah, they're going to be out of range. That's fine. And Byun is starting to swarm a little bit. One of the benefits of this 3-Rax opener is you get a lot of bio. That being said, normally, and the way I tend to see Byun do this and actually be really successful, is if he knows he's kind of get held, he just doesn't commit with that first, 15 Marines and 4 Marauders. Instead, he kind of goes and just holds onto it, just has a really big push later on. Is now Byun going to stem on top of this? Knock down one Colossus immediately. Nice move there from Byun, as the Widow Mines are going to be fantastic indeed. Not a lot of chaff here to go with the wheat that Zoun has for his army, but the supplies are still somewhat equal as more and more Zealots looking to run on in. Widow Mine shot's not going to go off here, and now Zoun, he's looking to make this swing across. Everything is starting to get overstim. Everything is starting to get low here as the Starkers look to blink on forward. Do we have a Warp Prism with this army? We do. That is what is necessary here, but oh, I mean, it's not going to matter all that much, but the Observer is going to get target fired on down. And now this third base from Byun is going to get canceled as he's getting snowballed and swung back into his base here on his side of the map. This one Colossus is just doing absolutely God's work. Now, Byun does have a drop back behind Zoun's main base, but all that's doing really is keeping Stalkers from running out on the other side of the map. Actually, that army supply from Byun may be even more than the army supply that Zoun is using to trap it there. Yeah, I believe Armani did go. Yeah, Armani went to the military, and yeah, GSL round of 8. I was hoping we would see kind of a continued resurgence Armani this year as well, but it just seems like it was kind of a, I don't know, one-off thing. But anyway, now we're gonna see that second Colossus join the field. Byun just trying to get on top of things. The Widow Mines are not really gonna get the burrow off here as more and more Sharpslows look to run on in. Yeah, Widow Mines do a good job of knocking them down. But actually, you know what here? This is not the strongest army from Zoun anymore. Not with the Vikings here on the field. It's a 30 army supply deficit. And I mean, I like the pressure from Zoun, but he's down 2 upgrades. I really think he wants to move on back here. And the fact that he's only a single forge, he's going to be so far behind on upgrades in this game. And you talk about players that you thought you stopped seeing for a bit. I was very surprised when I found out that Harding had not gotten to military. He just stopped playing StarCraft for a while and then came back. But it was good news because he found out he was going to be able to delay his military a little bit. So anyway, Zoun doing a great job here of delaying this third base. That's the big deal. Medevac's going to go down. I believe that had a couple Widow Mines in it. Yeah, so Zoun here, his army supply is not as strong as it once was, but certainly he's losing a lot to these Widow Mines. The flanking disruptor, folks. This is going to be Byun. He's going to target down, fire down. There we go. Man, the flanking disruptor and the line of sight blocker could have just been disastrous for Zoun in ways that we just cannot properly comprehend. But no, he's going to be fine with this 2 Colossus, with this disruptor on the field, as more and more army just rallies across the map. I would love to see maybe a 4th base from Zoun, just taking advantage of this tempo lead that he does have. But now it feels like Byun has hit that army value amount that he's going to be decent enough that it's not really like Zoun can keep doing what he's doing anymore. Okay, Warp Prism. It's going to look to dive onto the main base, and well, okay. Certainly now Zoun has to return. That looks like, okay, value lost on both sides here as the drop will get taken on down. Medevacs, Marines, Marauders, all that fun stuff will all die, and there we go. Zoun with his 4th base, with his +1 just about done. I would love again to see a second forge, especially now that we're going on 4 bases, but here we are. And interestingly, Byun, does he have an armory? He does not. He's like, well, in fairness, he's only on 2 bases, so he's kind of made the decision to go all in on this 1-1 tech. Maybe kind of go the 3 ghost idea, right? SCV pulls are really a thing of the past at this point, but well, I'm gonna get 3 ghosts so I can get 3 EMPs and run across the map and try to kill my opponent just then, because it's not like he's going to have a really big economy for the rest of this game, because even now that he's taking his 3rd base, I mean, look, there are only 6 mineral patches left in the natural. There's like, what, 2 left in the main base, not all that much. And now beyond his 1-1 timing, or his double upgrade lead timing, is not quite as strong as it once was. Zoun has +1. He's got +2 underway. BHT, that, I don't like that. That makes me very sad indeed. Now we have this drop on in the main base. It's going to target down the Temple Archives at first. Oh, he's going to get +2 as well. This is a really fruitful drop here from Byun. I'll admit. Okay, Cybercore as well, yeah. So not only does Byun kill the tech, he kills the tech that enables the tech. I mean, yeah, you can get forged without a cyber, but Most of the tech path of the Protoss player is contingent upon getting that Cyber Core. Actually, I'm sorry, I was incorrect. Simple Archives does go on down. Okay, interesting though. Look at this, we're going back up to 3 Colossus as the Disruptors have come on out. Because honestly, oh, okay, that's a Disruptor, but the commitment here to Vikings is not all that significant from Byun. He only has 4, so now we're going to see this big Doom drop on in the main base. More and more Zealots getting warped on in, but I mean, these are +1 Zealots against 1/1 bio. It is not all that great here, so the Warpins are just not doing what they need to do as this big Doom drop from Byun is finding value. Byun up 174 supply to 134 as he recalls right away from the army, so the third base is going to go on down. Disruptor shots are just not getting what they need whatsoever. Byun targeting, firing them all down. GG. That was a swing. Here we are in the upper left in the blue. Taking game 1, falling in game 2 is Zoun. And in the bottom right, in the red. Really doing a great job at clawing back that game number 2. He is, for the Shopify Rebellion, Byun. I mean, technically, Bitterwood, I do live in a country that has selective service. Now, invoking that outside of some sort of, you know, global war would be disastrous, but technically, I'm a StarCraft caster, and I could be called to the military. I wouldn't be happy about it. And also, as I'm getting a PhD, I mean, it wouldn't be your traditional, you know, wouldn't be frontline boot stuff. It'd probably just be, hey, Army Corps of Engineers, let's go. Artoa Dice. I feel like Zoun is probably favored in this matchup. Probably like at a 3-2. Just I think his PvT is a little bit better than Byun's TVP is. But either player can beat each other at the same on any given day. Well, yeah. So honorable macro Terran. If you are actively pursuing a degree, you're exempt. But even if I was to get drafted, I probably would not get put into a frontline position with a PhD in robotics. So there's that. Be more like support or engineering or something, unless it really became disastrous where, you know, we just need every body on the line because it's, you know, it's that bad. Which ideally is not a position that we're ever going to be in. The world has become much more stable in recent years with, you know, wow, I keep thinking it's not Noah. North Atlantic Treaty, or is not NATA. Well, anyway, the the Western Treaty Organization that I'm blanking on and all that. So I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that anytime soon. So there, I was like, NATA? No. Why am I like, I had the full name right, but I didn't have the acronym right, even though I had the full name right. Rather, yeah, it's fine, folks. Yeah, I can't speak to, again, I can't speak to Korean military. But again, I can speak a little bit. That's how, you know, in the US draft, you've always, if you've been in actively getting a degree, you're safe. But anyway, the Oracle's gonna look to dive on in here. There are plenty of Marines, and he will see the medevac or the Widow Mines as well as Byun. Well, I mean, he's not doing, it's just a 1-1-1 opener. He's not doing anything super crazy, but by getting that command center on the high ground, he put some fear into Zoun's head. He's like, hey, Zoun, I'm doing something crazy. And he's not really, it's just gonna be a Widow Mine drop. And that should be more than fine. So look at this though. Okay, so we're gonna see continued production here from Zoun out of this proxy Stargate. It will be, or excuse me, it will be Phoenix behind this, and that is not a style I think of when I think of Zoun. I mean, I'm sure you can make it work, but I just don't think of Stargate, or I don't think of Phoenix play all that much from him. But now, okay, now the Phoenix is gonna find its way on into the main base here, and this actually just may be a Phoenix to deal with the Widow Mine. So you lift up one, you kill the other, and there we go. Oh no, but the split is gonna have to be fine. 5 workers go down. Suddenly, that is not a good deal here. As there we go, Byun finding damage in the early game for the first time in this series. You know, Jim and I, we were just talking about like drafts or different draft structures in general. So started talking about South Korea, then it's like, well, what if casters had to join the military? I'm like, well, technically I'm enrolled in selective service, but in the US it's probably never going to happen. Anyway, you know, I believe it's Sweden. Sweden is Finland that also has a military requirement, which is surprising, but you know, I guess Russia is an existential threat to them for the most part. Anyway, we will see this little bit of aggression happening from Byun, and Zoun, he still has a little bit of a worker lead, but he's not up at that 5-7 that he really wants to be. He's only up 2. And with this third base going up, well, Byun, he's going to be in a much better position in this game than he has been in any of the first games that we've seen thus far. Yeah, there we go, Finland, okay. Artoa Dice, there is a tournament that is going to be coming up in November that has not been announced yet. I was gonna say it's gonna be announced the next couple days. I don't know. I thought it was actually just gonna be announced immediately after ROG, but I haven't seen the announcement for it yet. That I'm very excited about. That is going to be another good tournament like ROG. Just saying, keep your eyes out. Very excited for it. Anyway. Charge is now underway here for Zoun as he's getting gateways. He's just going into that heavy ground kind of Phoenix idea, although he only got 4 Phoenix. There was 1 died? Yeah, so he got 5 Phoenix here. But it's going to be Phoenix into charge lot because he thinks that Byun's going to get aggressive. And I do agree. I mean, it's +1 stim, combat shield, that fun stuff. No third base for Byun just yet. We should, if he takes it, should be going down rather soon. And that is just going to mean that Byun really is going to kind of run into the type of game that Zoun wants to play. You get 8, 9, 10 gateways. You keep yourself, well, actually, I'm sorry. I was going to say you keep yourself on like 3 gases and you go from there. But no, Zoun is going up to 6 gas. Well, Arto Adise, in the meantime, we always have ITaX stuff. I can neither confirm nor deny whether it's going to be an Alpha X tournament because it's not announced yet. It's not my place to announce it. I'm just saying, keep an eye on my Twitter because I will be retweeting it when the announcement does go live for real. Anyway, Byun looking to get here active on the right-hand side of Zoun's base. But at this point, Zoun, I mean, he's got a lot of charge left. There's not a lot of Widow Mines, although I guess we're going up to 4 now. As the third base is going to get canceled, suddenly this is a big problem here for Byun. He needs to make sure that he gets something done with this, but I mean, he's doubling the army supply of Zoun at this point, and the Zealots are trying to get on top of things. Will they be successful in doing so? I'm not really sure. That's a really good position for these Marines as 5 workers do go down. Again, Zoun can afford some of these worker losses, but he does have to consolidate his army just a little bit. So now the Zealots are going to look to run on in. Widow Mines are going to be dragged onto the army. A shield battery overcharge has been popped, and it looks like, what is this? Zealots on the other side of the map finding a little bit of value. Third base has been denied, and now Zoun is going to be able to beat Byun back, at least until the rally comes in. I mean, DreamHack did have cross-regional play for the season finals. But yeah, now, again, the ideal is not necessarily that there are region-locked stuff. It's just that, I mean, it's really hard to get that scheduling happen. Ideally, we're going to go back to lands, and, you know, Katowice is going to be online this year. Yeah, no, ROG, I didn't get a chance to see all the games, but those ROG games were fantastic, because now we've been looking to stim on in here. I mean, these Cyclones are just being really annoying, getting really good lock-ons on just getting so much damage done on these Archons. But shield battery overcharge is, in fact, a thing. It is extremely powerful, and it's going to, especially with these Archons here, because Archons are what, like 500 health, or 500 shields and like 10 health, yeah. So these force fields are going to be rather nice. The Widow Mines are are going to try to make something happen, but they're going to go off one by one, and shield batteries are going to keep things alive. And now we got 2-1 underway. Zealous, they're just going to find that the third base is going on down. There's too much bio here for Byun to make sure that anything happens, but now is Byun paying attention here? The Widow Mines are going to go down on the Phoenix, which means this ground army is pretty much undefeated or uncontested. And now Byun, well, he's going to be forced on back once again. Yeah, Rogue 3-0 Clem was the most surprising TVZ result I've seen in years, probably. Yeah, Byun, he really looked bad in game number 1. But games number 2 and 3, he's been looking a whole hell of a lot better. As now he's going to find this really nice position on it. It does give Zoun room to go kill off the Widow Mines on the right-hand side, but now Byun says, okay, that's fine. Let me run on in. Let me set up my minefield. Your army is going to go down. Let me find my way into your natural. Your natural's most likely going to go on down. I'm going to force you to take a fight that you do not want to take around where there's no static defense. GG, Byun. He's up 2-1. So in the upper right here, in the blue, up or down 1 game in this series. Can he take it back? Will we get a game number 5 for Alpha X? Zoun. And at the bottom right here in the red, looking to win this game, advance on to a date with... Wow, why am I blanking? A date with his Protoss opponent in the grand finals. He is Byun. R2 at DC. R2 at DC. I am not at the highest level. At the highest level, it's pretty balanced. We've seen tournaments recently where it's been Zerg dominated, Protoss dominated, Terran dominated. It's honestly, it's pretty balanced. It's just more of a question of, do we like where the meta is? I'm not a big fan of the Stargate meta, but certainly at lower levels or in ladder play, Protoss does have a little bit of advantage, just because Protoss is probably the best race at hiding ideas, hiding what you're doing. And when you're looking at just best of ones, being able to figure out what type of all-in your opponent is doing is so important. So if you can do a better job of hiding what you're doing, you will be more successful there. But certainly at the highest level, it's very, very even. Yeah, I mean, Trap is probably the most standard Protoss we have right now, and Party is the least standard Protoss player. So, you know, honestly, maybe even Classic would be a good practice partner there. I don't know what the state of his PvT is right now. But anyway, so this Reaper, this Proxy Reaper is going to get 2 probes. It shouldn't be much more. Okay, he's actually going to get 2 Reapers. Now he's just going to run on home. We have a Stalker out? Okay. I was going to say, I'm surprised he's running back out that early, because with 2 Reapers, it's 3 volleys, and 3 volleys to kill off probes, so you can maybe make something happen. But the Reaper, okay, yeah, it's just to kill off any sort of probes here. Remove the Scout, remove any sort of proxy ability. And here's such a weird player, because like he is simultaneously like probably the second best Terran in the world, and not at all. As the Reapers are going to look to dive on into this natural, and these probes are very much undefended. But yeah, okay, Byun's not going to commit to that. But there we go. We will get a couple more workers here rather quickly. Was that going to be 2? I think. No, nice micro. Oh, he's going to dive on top of it. 1 Reaper still alive. Okay, so 2 workers will go down. All of that hold position is going to be really nice. Well done there from Zoun, minimizing the damage. But still, 4 probes have died early on in this game. And again, he's not going to have that quite worker lead that he would be looking for. But yeah, no, here's this weird player where he is simultaneously probably the second best Terran player in the world after Maru. And just not at all, because you get to offline play, you get to bigger tournaments. Well, he really does fall apart. But certainly, I mean, there's a reason he's won probably the most EPT cups out of any Korean player. But okay, now We're gonna have the squad of medevac drop go on in, but look at what Zoun is doing. Let's see, how many gateways is he at right now? 1 to 4. He is okay. So one of my drop is not going to get all that much done here in the natural. Oh man, that was almost a really big lock on. But okay, one of mine's will unburrow. 9 mining from natural for the time being. But look at this, Zoun is going very all in here in this game number 4 here. It's going to be glaives. This is going to be a 4 gate. And Byun, I think he's he's aware of this. So A, he's going to have a Banshee, which is always going to be nice when your opponent can't really shoot up. B, he's got bunkers underway. Ideally, the big deal that we need to see, we need to see a wall. We need to see a wall in the natural to prevent that the shades from going on in and just really screwing with where Byun can be. Because if you see just a bunch of adepts kind of going between the main and the natural, that's where things become rather problematic. But we will have tanks, we will have Banshees, although the Banshee is running on the other side of the map, so maybe not all that great after all. Yeah, I mean, any sort of ranking is arguable. I mean, who would you put at number 2 though? Maybe Clem? Because I mean, Clem's ZVT is absolutely transcendent, but his other 2 matchups are not. His TVT, I mean, he loses to Marine Lord. Marine Lord's good, but he's not, he's not within contention best Terran player in the world. So the Widowmine drops again. Nice job here from Byun, just denying mining for the time being. That's not going to get a lot. And 2 workers will go down, but now the adepts, they're in the main base here. SCVs are going to have to get pulled, and folks, this is the damage I think that he's going to be looking for. Yeah, 8 workers are going to go on down. But actually, this is only equalizing. Because the adepts, 9 workers go down. It's only a 6 worker lead. And Zoun is still on 2 bases. This is not the damage that Zoun was looking for. He was looking for more. Well, he didn't have a depot wall, so it didn't matter. Now this Banshee's going to start to find damage here in the natural as a bunch of workers will go down there. I don't believe it has... Yeah, there's no cloak. Okay, yeah, GG, just like that. A little bit anticlimactic, but Byun, he's going to get too much damage. He's not going to take enough. And Byun versus Hero, there we go, is going to be our next series.